I'm back again, ladies and gentlemen. Clan Navigator Bowman, fresh off of Sony Centric's 59th episode. This is the 15th episode of the Xperience. I am joined by my co-host, as well as my boss, the editor-in-chief of the Outerhaven Productions, Keith Shadow Haxer Mitchell. Keith, what's up, man?
Was that a bell, or are you just happy to hear me?
Oh, no, that was my Jello bowl.
Oh, even worse, thanks.
Sorry, I have a bowl of green Jello.
You're going with envy. Gotcha.
Yeah, and we have our newest cohort on the Microsoft team. He is a very, very well-known friend of Keith Mitchell. Keith, why don't you introduce him?
This is my cohort. This is the guy I go to for help at my job, and he's a pretty cool guy. Aaron Sanders.
Oh, well, thank you. Hi, I come to you for help as well, quite a lot.
We keep that place alive so it doesn't burn to the ground.
Yeah, we do.
I mean, I'm just saying, the day it does burn to the ground, let me know so I can come and roast marshmallows.
I won't be in the state. They won't say it was me.
Oh, man. So, honestly, over the last week, we did go to PAX. And we didn't get to talk to Aaron about his experience at PAX. So, I remember his Sunday was actually pretty fun. So, talk to us a little bit, Aaron, about your PAX.
PAX was it was a great time. This was the first time I got to go with a media badge, with media access. I've gone to this show for, I think this might have been my 6th or 7th year. I can't remember. But actually getting to have media access and getting pulled over by devs to see their games and whatnot, that was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
So did you get pulled over a lot?
A couple of times. I actually, there's a game I want to do a write-up on where they pulled us over. They spotted my media badge, pulled me over, and it was a specifically 2-player game designed by a company that includes a husband and wife team that kind of made the game specifically because they had nothing to play together. And so I was there with my wife, and I'm like, okay, we'll play this. And it was fun. It was difficult, but it was fun. So I'm looking forward to doing a write-up on that. But that was a really neat kind of getting grabbed by dev type of experience.
Yeah,
we tried to warn you. I told you that's exactly what happens.
I'll be honest with you. I actually enjoy that when I get to the Mindy Mega booth. It's just getting grabbed by devs. It's like, come and check out our game.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, and it's exciting to think that I can help them get exposure and help this game. If the game's really cool, then it's like, oh, I can help you get this out there and help this to do well.
All right, so
yeah.
That's actually really solid. So let's talk about what we have been playing over the last week. Keith, what have you been playing specifically right before we started recording this?
Pass.
Oh, he doesn't want to talk about the salt.
What? I was winning. I only lost one game today.
So it was a salty comeback. Like I said before. Like you want to pass? You don't want to talk about Overwatch and the buffs to Bastion?
Whoops. Actually, no, I don't want to talk about buffs to Bastion because actually, even though he might have gotten a little bit of buff, I actually haven't played against any Bastions tonight.
What?
Interesting.
Actually, no, I did play against one Bastion. He thought he was being slick. He hit behind Orisa, the new tank.
Yeah.
And Reinhardt, and they were blocking him. And I was like, oh, I guess we can't get to him. Then I was like, wait, I'm fair. I go above you guys. And just shot through the little hole they left open and killed them. So
wow.
I'm not really having a big issue with him right now. But then when I play against skill players, then I might start getting frustrated.
I have a question. Have you played as Orisa?
No, and I probably won't.
So you won't give her a try?
I played her on the PTR. I think she's solid, but that's great. If that entices other people to play a tank, so I don't have to, all for it.
Yeah, because typically, Overwatch is a game that I've obviously been playing a lot on PC. Never on console. I've been playing a lot more tank as of late. So I've been playing Reinhardt and Diva a lot more. Diva being my first character in Overwatch before switching to straight up DPS with Sombra and.
Sombra, get on the point.
Yeah, Sombra and Soldier 76. And I'm really interested in playing Orisa and see how much of a hybrid tank she really is.
Well, I don't think we were supposed to be talking about Overwatch, but since we are, from what I played on the PTR and what I've seen so far, she is a solid tank. She plays like a mixture of Bastion, of Reinhardt, and of Ana. And I say that because she has the shield capability of Reinhardt, but she places it down. It's not directional. Once she puts it down, it cannot be moved. She has the damage boost, which affects everybody that's in her range. However, you can destroy that and get rid of that damage boost. Her shield has a durability just like Reinhardt's does.
And what about the Graviton like Zarya has?
Nobody's used it today.
Wow.
Not on one.
So nobody hit the wombo combos yet.
I was surprised. Nobody did it.
Yeah. So in the other games I've been playing a lot of Shock Troopers on the Switch. Like, I'm sorry, Neo Geo games. I just love Neo Geo games.
And thanks for ruining the Xbox experience by talking about a competitor. Good job, Bowman.
Well, let's be clear. Let's be clear. You can also get Shock Troopers on the Steam store.
Not legally.
It's on Steam, bro. Yeah.
Oh, I might go play it now.
Yeah, it's on Steam. With updated everything.
Oh,
Multiplayer, online multiplayer, everything. So, Aaron, what have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing a lot of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch. I can't put that game down. It's just all engrossing. The worst part is with the Switch and the portability. Like, I'm sitting out there at the TV in the living room. I'm playing it, and I'm like, I should really go to bed. Just pop it out of the dock, take it to bed.
Yeah,
lay in
defeats
bed,
the
play
purpose
it.
of going to bed, Aaron.
Yeah.
Look, listen, and it's in this age where you can take your cell phone with you to bed. I mean, come on.
Yeah, really.
I don't think I want to take my cell phone. My wife's going to get mad.
Well, I have to take the cell phone because I'm on call.
On call.
Yeah.
That's a struggle.
Outside of Zelda, actually, a couple of weeks ago, we had a friend come over and we played. I'm trying to remember the full title. I think it's called Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time on the Xbox.
Oh my god, I know that game. Yes.
Yeah, that game is fun.
What is that game?
So, how would you describe this game? So, it's up to, I think, 4 players. We have 3 people. It was our friend, myself, and my wife. And you all work together to pilot a ship. So, within the ship, there are little stations. One is for controlling the engines. There are 4 gun stations. And basically, you pilot the ship around a map trying to free bunnies from cages in space.
Bunnies?
Bunnies, yes. Space bunnies. And
it's available on Xbox One as well as on Steam. So,
Yep.
it covers both bases.
Yeah, how about that? But it is a lot of fun. You have to work together. You can get power-ups, and you can put them into the different stations, and they'll turn the guns into different types of weapons. There are planetoids and asteroids you have to avoid. There are boss battles. It's great. We're having a great time with that.
Like, apparently it won Best of PAX East at the Structuroid Play 4-Player Network. Indie Mega Boo. It was an official selection to Indie Mega Boo at PAX Prime and at PAX East.
Yeah.
This year?
A couple years ago.
Okay, I'm saying not this year, was it?
Yeah, the game came out in 2015. The game came out in 2015.
Did you ever play a game called Regular Human Basketball?
No.
No. Because the control scheme is similar to that, in that you had a giant robot that you were in with a team of people, and you had to run around and man different stations to do different things. It's a similar control style. I was going to make the comparison there.
Oh, okay. Like, I'm saying it because I'm now hearing about Itch.io, from at PAX East. So you've seen these games of Itch.io and stuff like that. But let's move on to the news really quickly. So a former Bioware employee on Glassdoor.ca, the Canada website, has shed some light on the development of Mass Effect Andromeda. So this was posted on NeoGAF earlier today. I believe it was yesterday. And there was a couple things that were said, including Bioware Edmonton and Montreal symbiosis is broken. Lots of conflict and bro culture. They lost over 13 leads in 5 years at Bioware Montreal on Mass Effect. So game design, art, audio, programming, senior core leads and such. And it is clear, and Edmonton only had lost 3. It is clear that Edmonton has the bigger part of the stick when it comes to purge leads and producers who are not coming to purging leads and producers who are not aligned with their leadership style. Putting people on the performance improvement program is the new tactic to get rid of people.
What?
There's a way of firing people. Once again, 10 more people in Montreal got slammed with the bureaucratic uppercut to let go people who are not bending to Edmonton's leadership styles in the last revision cycle.
Oh, EA. Why does your negative culture spread to other people?
Renaming crunch to finaling mode, which means company pays for your lunch, but you only have 30 minutes to eat, and then you have to get back on the keyboard, and it lasted over 2 months, and it was a catastrophe.
Oh, because lunchtime was the big problem with crunch. Yeah, that totally that fixes everything.
Retaliation and harassment is sadly a reality, but you cannot really talk about it because you'll get tagged as a troublemaker and you'll be put in a bad position. And if you leave, you can't really just talk about it. You just got to let it go. And many benefits got cut. The too much extension of the time in order to get the game done.
That's kind of ridiculous.
That sounds like a hellish place to work.
Yeah.
In addition, now keep in mind, this is a former employee posting this on Glassdoor.ca, which is a job review site. In addition, they did leak some footage from April of 2016 compared to the final build that came out this year, and apparently everything about the April 2016 build looks a lot better than the March 2017 build.
Yeah, but was that just pop renders and whatnot? Was it actual gameplay? Because a lot of companies do that. They're like, it's going to look like this. It's going to be great. It's going to be huge. And it comes out and it's like, graphics downgrade.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about Mass Effect Andromeda, which is released today, on Xbox One and PlayStation, Xbox One's Origin and PlayStation 4. And we did note that on the Xbox One version, the game plays at 900p and the cutscenes drop to 756p.
Doesn't the PlayStation one run at 900p as well?
Nope, the gameplay runs at 1080 and the cutscenes are at 900.
What? Okay. Keith's brain says that doesn't make any sense. If anything, why wouldn't everything be 1080p? Or why are the cutscenes dropped?
This is the Digital Foundry had found this out. So, I mean, I really couldn't explain this to you.
I need to go look that up.
Yeah, you go check out Digital Foundry for that. That one is weird.
Yeah, well, Mass Effect never uses pre-rendered cutscenes, so I mean, that's still being rendered in engine, right? Yeah.
But at the same time, it's disappointing to hear that Edmonton and Montreal had differing opinions and differing, philosophies going forward, and that Edmonton had the lead on everything, basically screwing people in Montreal.
Ooh. Okay, so stop you for a second. So Digital Foundry said, Xbox One drops to 900p, and then it does some god-awful resolution when cutscenes. PlayStation 4 is 1080p, then drops to 900. He said both consoles play identical. They're capped at 30 frames per second as well, with tons of screen tearing, judder during combat. What? But neither one of them are worth their praise.
That's really disappointing to hear, especially after how long that was in development.
And not even that. It's like, 1 was great, 2 was great, 3 was all right. The storyline was towards the end was terrible, but up to that, the game was fun. It was a good game. And all these games had these fantastic scores on Metacritic and whatnot, right? And at work today. I was walking past. I think somebody had a monitor up, but they were showing Mass Effect 75 Metacritic. Yes, and I'm like, that's bad.
Yeah, it's lower than that should get. 3 was still fun because it kept the gameplay and streamlined a few things, but I felt it felt rushed just in terms of production and story. It was like they were like, we just need to get 3 out now, and that seems to be the approach they took here with Andromeda as well.
I had really big high hopes for it, and I had the game or pre-ordered it because I can't get rid of it because Origin is like, well, you paid for it like 6 months ago.
But how is it on the PC though?
I haven't played it yet. I have too many things right now to play and or review, so I have not touched it. I want to break it open during this weekend, but like last night, I'm doing a stream of Dark Souls 3 to beat the DLC again because the new DLC comes out next.
Right.
But I likely will play Mass Effect Andromeda, and I'll probably have my daughter and my wife with me so I can make some stupid decisions and try and be an asshole because they kind of took most of that stuff out.
Here, just to share with you guys, the link that I put down there is a friend of mine. He was playing Andromeda today on PC, and this was a recording he took. Just an example of the AI's behavior.
So, well, as you're looking on the screen right now, the AI's behavior is a little erratic. Apparently people jumping off and jumping up around and acting a little crazy. You're gonna see that on the screen as well.
Is it acting like the AI robots in Alien Isolation? Please tell me somebody's played that game.
I haven't.
God, you guys are missing out on a classic game. Play it. Put that on your playlist.
I was contemplating buying it several times.
No, don't contemplate. Buy it.
I was thinking about buying it several times in the past. I more than likely will end up buying it.
Have to play that game.
Isolation, did that come out a couple of years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Best Alien game ever. Best.
That being said, verdict on Mass Effect. All of the problems surrounding it.
Can't really give it a fair assessment because I haven't played it.
Yeah, I still want to play it. I'm definitely going to. The original trilogy, it still had its fair share of, janky animations and some spotty voice acting. It seems like there's just a lot more of that in Andromeda from what we're hearing, but I still think there's probably a good game in there worth playing.
Don't forget you can have sex with all these other creatures and alien races, because that's a big thing.
And that's the only reason I played these games.
I mean, I'm going to be honest.
That's the reason most people play these games.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would love to be Captain Kirk in this motherfucker. I'm just saying. Yeah, Aaron got the reference. Aaron got the reference.
Banging across the galaxy.
Oh, yeah. So, GamesIndustry.biz posted a long editorial full of fluff. Full of fluff. Let's just put it into perspective. They're talking about how the relationship between Playground Games and Turn 10 Interactive took Forza into the top spot as the world's biggest racing IP.
That was a bad title. It had everybody on NeoGAF triggered.
So Keith,
triggered.
Talk about that, man. Let's just hear how triggered they were.
Okay, as soon as somebody posted the article, the very first thing everybody was like, "But Forza isn't anything compared to Gran Turismo. Why are they even saying that? I don't get that. Microsoft sucks. Forza sucks." And I was like, "Oh God, here we go." And then I went and read the story, and I was like, "Okay, they're talking about this generation of game, which kind of makes sense because we haven't gotten a Gran Turismo game yet. The last Gran Turismo game we got was Gran Turismo 6 back in 2013?
December 2013, yes.
So, yeah, that was on the PlayStation 3. So we're talking PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and or PC. But I guess we don't have to count the PC because you can't get that. But I guess you do. Either way, it doesn't matter. Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So they were drawing comparisons. People were talking about, isn't Forza that racing game that you race across, open maps? And I'm like, that's Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon and Forza Motorsports. There's a lot of people just talking. They don't know, the different games. And I'm sitting there just watching this unfold. And it was like, first, it was like, one, NeoGAF has gotten really, really toxic. And two, a lot of these people are stuck in the same thing that I talked about a couple days ago with the fanboyism. They can't let one game or another franchise go without any credit, without trying to throw some shade towards their way. And for the fact that the article was actually correct. When Xbox and PlayStation 4 came out, the biggest racing game that came out was Need for Speed. Need for Speed Rivals, because it was the only racing game that came out.
Right.
Since then, we had another Need for Speed. Terrible. And we've had Forza Motorsport 1, Forza Horizon 2, Forza...
5.
5. No, Forza Motorsport 5.
You said 1.
I'm sorry, Forza Horizon 2, Forza Motorsport 6,
Apex.
What doesn't count on top of the PC. Forza Motorsport 6, Forza Fast and Furious.
Right, that's Horizon 2, yes.
So we've had 4 games. You want to count Fast and Furious because it was a standalone game. 5 different Forza games and expanded the Xbox One's life. PlayStation 4 is just getting around to getting Gran Turismo Sport.
And we still don't even know. We still don't even know when it's coming out.
It's not done. It's still in beta. It's still in production. So yes, for this generation, Forza has eclipsed Gran Turismo. Forza has made more money than Gran Turismo for this generation. And they talk about and they complain and they cry, well, Gran Turismo made more money than Forza. Well, granted, yes, PlayStation 3 had how many? Was it 70, 80 million user installment base? Yeah, I can see how that would, be a thing.
Right.
But that was the story. The story was a lot of fluff. The story wasn't very concise. It didn't break it down. It didn't put it to points until you started reading it. But if you went off just the title alone, which a lot of people did without reading the article, yeah, that's what made a lot of people upset. I mean, if you go check out that thread right now on NeoGAF, you'll just look at it. It's probably still going right now.
No, it is. Oh, it is.
No, so it's it's getting bad in there.
So my thing is, and this is just me coming, from a different perspective of as a fan of both Forza and Gran Turismo and
They
Need
don't
for
exist.
Speed.
They don't exist.
Oh, you talking about fans of all the games don't exist?
They don't exist anymore. Apparently, we're not allowed to.
But I love my Gran Turismo and my Forza and my
did
Need
too.
for Speed.
I wasn't a fan of 5. I thought 5 was iffy, and I thought 6 was terrible.
What are you talking about? Oh, Gran Turismo?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about Forza Horizon 5. I was like, nah, Forza Horizon 5 was a proof of concept. I mean, it was a full-on proof of concept. I can't even get mad at that game.
I mean, I liked all the games. I remember the first day Gran Turismo came out. I was working in arcade. I closed down an arcade for like 20 minutes to go up to games. Well, not games. Back then it was EB Games.
Oh, I thought you were about to say Funko Land.
No, EB Games to get my Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
Man, I love Gran Turismo. I have vivid memories of Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
And I love Forza.
I used to play with my cousin. I used to play with my cousin a lot. But then, I moved on to Forza.
But like I said, you're at this day and age, you're supposed to pick a side. You can't enjoy everything. It's either this or that. And if you don't like what we like, then you're a fanboy. And if you don't like what I like, then you're a fanboy.
Bullshit.
When you come up with some rational thoughts, like get out of here. Nobody thinks like that.
Right.
Really sad. Anyway,
Aaron, I mean, your thoughts on this?
I unfortunately haven't played any of those racing games. I stick more to kind of the sci-fi racers, so the realistic car racers. I haven't played a whole lot of.
Damn, I thought you were just about to hear why. I thought you was gonna be like, why fluff is bad or something.
Oh, why fluff is bad? Well, fluff is bad.
Yeah.
especially the stuff you eat. That stuff is.
Yeah, fluff is obviously bad. I'm just saying, but I think an article like that was not necessarily needed in the grand scheme of things.
No, it was needed. It was needed, but it needed to be more. It needed to have a less clickbaity title.
That's how you get the page views these days.
Yeah, and that's all that's what it's about, and it's really sad. But that was
Yeah.
clickbait.
I mean, our current president is clickbait.
I'll see myself out before I say something I shouldn't say.
All right, so Major Nelson released some hot new insider-related news, man. So Xbox insiders will be getting
Don't do that again.
custom gamer picks and a whole lot more. I know Aaron was a lot interested in this.
Yeah, well, I'm not on the Insider program. Are you guys on the Insider program?
I am Ring 3.
Yep.
How do I get into that?
Just enroll your console. I mean, I could send you an invite if I had your thing.
First.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd like to get on that. It seems like they're just rolling out a whole lot of features that are geared towards customization of, I guess, profiles and looking for group stuff. It sounds pretty interesting. Just I like the way this service keeps evolving and getting better about making it easier to play together and play the way you want. But,
that is not allowed.
But
There's no
also,
fun here.
Also,
It's a no fun zone.
custom profile pictures. I don't know if they're going to moderate that or what. If somebody does, somebody's going to be looking at a lot of dicks. That's all I know.
That takes me back to Gangster Online on the Dreamcast.
Oh shit!
People were doing that everywhere.
Yeah.
Making the symbols that will pop over their head. And you're
Yep.
like, oh, God damn it. That's what's going to happen.
I missed that game.
Put
one
a
of those.
dick on your head. So here's some of the things that Major Nelson did talk about in terms of the profile and activity field. So we talking about custom gamer picks already. On your profile, there's going to be a join broadcast button on the profile. So friends and people searching your profile will be able to access your stream while you're broadcasting the game. So, it'll click automatically to the Beam app or the Twitch app, whatever app you're streaming from, and it'll just pop you up there. Your profile will also show your arena tournament history and upcoming tournaments. And in your activity feed, they're adding the ability to hide individual posts, pin posts to the top of your feed, and filter posts by friends, games, or clubs. But speaking of the arena, World of Tanks fan will be able to participate in new tournaments on their Xbox Ones created by ESL and powered by Arena on Xbox Live.
I've yet to play that game yet.
Yeah, same.
And
I'm trying
neither
to
have
avoid
I.
anything that says World of.
That's understandable. World
Yeah,
of Final Fantasy.
I avoided that one too.
You can also discover tournaments from your Xbox One or the Xbox app on Windows 10. Get notification when your match is ready. Jump directly into your match on the Xbox Ones enjoy automatic results reporting and show off the results on your activity feed. As a fan of the FGC and knowing that Marvel Infinite is coming soon, I would love to see how this works with Marvel Infinite and how Capcom actually tries to leverage that for Xbox gamers. Bueller?
Pause.
Bueller?
You're the one talking. Finish up.
I finished. I was gonna kick it to you guys. Actually, I would love to see how Capcom does that. Like I said, Keith, your thoughts on the arena updates or any of the updates for that matter?
I don't have any thoughts on it at the moment.
No fucks given.
I don't think. I'd have to see it being implemented. I have to see it actually before I have any kind of thoughts on it.
Oh, so you never got a chance? You never got a chance to go into arena mode? 'Cause I think we all got arena mode at this point.
No, I've never. I didn't know that was a thing.
Man, for all the time we've been doing the experience, he didn't know this was a thing.
No, I did not.
It totally shows he doesn't listen to me. I'm just saying.
So you can come in and look at me playing Daytona USA right now.
Not right now. This is gonna be inside. It's coming soon. It's gonna be starting to ship over next month.
Ah, see.
So
I think I can.
I would love to be able to do that.
Test.
But then again, you could actually stream your Daytona USA to Beam right now because preview Ring 3 and all that fun stuff.
I could have been streaming anyway using my capture device. So, hey.
I'm just saying you got to try. You got to try out that for the benefit of our fans of the experience. You got to test that out. And I got to test that out as well.
Okay, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. No promises. Promises.
No promises. Yo, Keith,
like our president.
Keith is already promising to disappoint you guys. I'm just saying. But Aaron, I mean, in terms of the arena.
Yeah. So, are we looking at you're expressing interest in how Capcom's going to leverage that? Is that so? This would be a different method through which they might hold tournaments.
Yeah, I would venture to think that way because I remember when Virgin tournaments were a thing. The Virgin tournaments, and they did it through like Street Fighter 4 and NBA 2K. I wonder if this is Microsoft's way of saying we want to get involved by ourselves, but team up with people like ESL and those kind of organizations,
right?
To host it.
That's a good opportunity for them to pursue for sure. I mean, if that takes off, then yeah.
And
let me ask you a question then. Is that the same thing they were talking about before with the Killer Instinct tournaments?
Yes.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, I was paying attention. I just couldn't remember.
No, what I'm thinking, and this is just me coming off the top of the head, PlayStation doesn't have something like this at all.
We're not going to talk about PlayStation.
No, we're not.
I think you're right, though. Yeah,
I'm thinking about in comparison. I'm thinking about in comparison. So PlayStation doesn't have something like this. So looking at where Microsoft is, they're looking to, do what they did with the Xbox 360 life cycle and really put that emphasis on social gaming like they did before.
Yeah.
Which is a great move.
They're just stepping up their game. Yeah.
It would have been nice if they had stepped up previously.
Yeah, this had been the plan from the beginning, yeah.
But better, there's a saying, better late than never.
Yeah, but there's also,
too late shall be the cry.
Yeah, close only counts in what? Horseshoes and hand grenades and all that fun stuff, so.
Yeah,
but that being said, like you said, the competition doesn't seem to have anything comparable. So they're late, but it's still not the last.
Indeed. Daytona USA, speaking of, we did talk about that a little earlier.
Fantastic.
It is on the Xbox One. Keith, talk to me about that, buddy.
This is not a simple port. This looks to be 60 frames per second. It is super glossy. It is super fluid. It is fast. It looks like the original arcade release. Actually, I know it's not, but it looks like it. It has even the details that were messed up on the Sega Saturn and Dreamcast. Like the first map, the slot machines is working, the slot wheel is working, the signs are working. I wanted to go to a track and see if Jeffrey comes to life in one of the statues. How to do that. But yeah, this game looks great.
And you can get that now, digital download, ladies and gentlemen, $10 on the Xbox store. So you can go pick that up.
If only Namco and Sony would do something to give us, Ridge Racer again.
Now we need Ridge Race on the Xbox One. Just release on the Xbox One. Call it a day.
But seriously, this is great. And I thought Sega had delisted this game, but I'm glad. Or was it just?
It was just Outrun, bro.
Outrun,
yeah.
Outrun should have got the same treatment. This is great.
And the sad part is, I have Outrun.
I do too.
And I love Outrun.
But I don't think it'll ever come over to backwards compatibility.
I mean, it could come to backwards compatibility. It just can't be sold. I mean, you already had to buy it.
Right, and that won't work because that's a limited number of people that actually has access to it. It can't be sold. There's no point in doing it.
I mean, shoot. Looks like Microsoft might have to leverage their Ferrari license. So
Do they have a license now?
I think they do for Forza, yes.
Oh, okay. Then that works.
Yeah. All right. So as of today, with Daytona, 349 Xbox 360 games out of the about 1,200 Xbox 360 games that were released in the lifetime are now playable on Xbox One. So that is a solid, I want to say, 25% of the games.
Yeah, about a quarter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, that's what, since November, that's since what, 2015?
And that's great considering I thought they'd almost given up on backwards compatibility for a while.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's this big push to come back with it, and yeah,
this
knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, this was since June 15, 2015. And they got 349 games already. Now, we talked about this last week. There's games that I wish was on backwards compatibility. Like, I've definitely talked about Street Fighter games coming over to backwards compatibility, specifically Ultra Street Fighter 4. But, Aaron, if you had to make any choice for a game to come on backwards compatibility for the Xbox One, what would it be?
You're gonna have to give me a second to think about that. I'm not actually sure what hasn't made it yet. Let me take a look.
While we do that, we're gonna move on.
I know one that I want.
What's up, Keith?
What was that Conjuring game? I can't remember the name.
Hardcore Uprising?
Yes.
Hardcore Uprising? Yeah.
Yes. Give me that, please.
That was a good game.
Yes, I love that game. Give us that, and I'll be happy. Because I played it on my PlayStation 3 because that's still hooked up, and I was like, wow, I missed this game.
I mean, I bet you do.
And we were supposed to get a follow-up, and I guess that never happened.
Yo, Konami, what the fuck? I'm kind of glad we got Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. Like, I actually managed to get that game. And I was like, oh, yo, I actually own this. Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. Again, playing Streets of Rage and stuff like that in the meantime. And then they decided to be, all right, we're totally going to do Tekken Tag 2. But we're going to shut down. We're going to shut down the servers, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you shut down the servers? Even Virtua Fighter doesn't have their servers shut down.
Well, then that's when they need to put in some kind of, peer-to-peer in there, so you don't need servers.
I mean, this is definitely true. This is definitely true with that. So, let's move. So let's move on to our major topic for today.
What is that? What are we talking about?
We're going to be talking about an article that was posted on Windows Central. It was a buyer's guide.
Oh, great!
And they were talking about which GPU is right for you: the AMD RX 480 versus the NVIDIA GTX 1060. Now, keep in mind, these are both the lower end cards, or at least the second to lowest end card on both AMD and NVIDIA side with the AMD.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Take that
or
back.
the third lowest, because there is a 460 and a 470 for AMD, right? And then I know there's a 470.
No. Right now, all they have on that, they have the 300 series, but their newer generation is the RX 480.
Yeah, we're just talking about the newest generation.
I think they have a 460 and a 470, but most people want to go up to the 480. NVIDIA also has
the 1050,
yeah,
and a 1050 Ti and a 1050 Ti. So I'm just saying they're the lower end. They're like in the middle of everything.
Cards. They're the best mid-range cards.
Yeah, they're the mid-range cards right now. With I think the 480 being the high end, the high end of the RX series.
Well, yeah, the 480 RX. I'm sorry, the RX 480, 8 gig, and the 40 gig, because the 40 gigs are easier to find than the 8 gigs.
Right. So we're looking at two different cards that do about the same, that typically do 1080 and some decent 1440 gaming.
Yeah.
And Windows Central recommended, and this is their quote, not mine, adding to the longevity factor is the excellent Vulkan and DX12 support from AMD. If you plan on buying a GPU that will remain viable for games released during the next 2 years, the RX 480 8 gig is a fine choice.
It is. I'll agree with that.
So as these APIs become more commonplace, you want a GPU that can perform well, and the RX 480, thanks to plenty of driver updates from AMD, has become a proven contender. Gamers who like to string together GPUs, you can't do SLI on the 1060, but you can crossfire on the 480.
Yeah, but that's not really something that many gamers do. Even SLI, it's going the way of the ghost because NVIDIA wants to get rid of SLI.
Yeah, there's not a lot of support for that anymore, is there?
You can't really SLI more than 2 cards unless you get there's something special you have to do, and even still, it's not supported in games.
Yeah,
it's only for like benchmarking and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, typically the performance that they tested, and they really tested it with 2 games. They tested it with Battlefield 1 at 1080 on Ultra with DirectX 1011. The GTX 1060 averaged about 90 frames a second, while the 480 averaged about 86. But when you use DX12, the RX 480 averaged about the same, and the GTX 1060 dipped to about an average of 82 frames a second.
Literally unplayable.
And in another test, we had Fallout 4 at 1080 on Ultra with DX11. The 1060 and the RX 480 both averaged about 66 frames per second. And when you played at 1440, the 1060 was about 42, and the RX 480 was at 43 frames per second.
So, as somebody who owned both cards and still own the X1060, I will say that they're both good cards. When they first came out, the RX 480 held in comparison to the 1060. However, AMD did do better graphics drivers. They did catch up. They did close the gap. Now, there are still some games where the gap is still 10, 15 frames, but they're very, very, very minimal games. It doesn't really happen anymore. Good example is Doom. Doom, using OpenGL, so many acronyms. The GTX 1080 or 1060, excuse me, still runs better than the RX 40. But when you put Vulkan into the mix, the RX 480 spanks the GTX 1060. Downside to that is not many games support Vulkan.
Right. I mean,
Vulkan
hardware
is an offshoot of the actual API that was in development for the AMD cards in the first place.
Right. Now, so Hardware Canucks tested a ton of games, and we were talking about, like you said, you were talking about Doom at 1080. Compared to the EVGA GTX 1060, the RX 480 did 120 average with a minimum of 102, and the 1060 did an average of 116 with a minimum of 95.
And the thing here is, they're drawing hairs here because you're looking at the performance. If you take the article and for face value, they're like, okay, this game did this card did 86 frames, this card did 90.
Right.
That's 4 frames. And that's not going to be the same on everybody's PC. It also depends on your CPU. You know, it depends on which drivers you're running. So everybody's mileage may vary. You know, that's just what they got in their system. Your setup could be completely different.
When they tested these, were they doing the 8 gig 480s versus the 6 gig 1060s? Yeah.
The 8 gig versus the 6 gig.
And then they tried to make an argument for the price point later, and they say the 480s are like 185, but that's like the 4 gig 480s. The 8 gig ones are like 200, 250.
Yeah, and I was saying it earlier. It's like you're trying to say it costs less than the 1060, but it costs more.
Which is somewhat accurate if you are looking at the 4 gig as opposed to looking at the 8 gig. With the 8 gig, you get the 8 gig right now on Amazon, which I'm looking at right now. There are some for about 250. There are about some for like 250.
Right.
Yeah.
So
You know?
the bottom line with this is, and this goes for any kind of graphics card, buy the one with more memory because you want a larger video buffer. That's just it. You don't
Sure.
buy the smaller one. If you buy the small one because A, it's all they have, and you need a card, or B, you can't afford it. Never go down. That is, don't do it. So I would never buy a 3 gig 1060. I would never buy a 4 gigs for 80 unless I had to. That said, this argument is null because both of these cards are great. They're both mid-range cards, and by the time Vega comes out, and the time the AMD's 500 line come out, and the time Nvidia replaces this card, nobody's going to care.
You think so?
Yeah, these would be all the budget $120 cards by then.
You know, here's the big thing. Okay, so the 1060s you can buy for $234, right?
Right.
Cost another $100, you can buy 1070.
1070 is
right.
a nice card. I'm running one of those now.
So it's like, I'll buy 1070 now because, you know, the prices for the 1080s dropped because of the 1080 Ti, which made the 1070s drop. Like I'm looking right now, Zotac 374, PNY 379, EA 360. So they're dropping. So these guys are great mid-range cards now, but yet, say next year, most people probably won't be picking them up. They'll be the lower-end cards then. So this point is nullified. The only way that they can use that point for some kind of valuability is the fact that AMD has been traditionally known to have better drivers towards end of the card's lifetime, or compared to at least NVIDIA, because NVIDIA doesn't sit there like, all right, we're going to support you guys for the year. We're going to support you guys for the year. They're like, oh, hey, brand new car, here you go. And people jump to the new cards.
Yeah, because NVIDIA, like, the thing about NVIDIA is, like, they refresh a lot.
They refresh a lot.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me stay away from NVIDIA because of the fact that it's rapid refresh. And my RX 390 series that I have in my computer right now is actually performing a lot better because of the optimized drivers.
Well, yeah, and they cut off. But NVIDIA cuts off drivers times as well. Like, they're like, all right, we're going to support your 1070 or we're going to support your 970 at the same time. And then they'll get to a point like, all right, look, the driver's no longer for you.
Right.
But AMD's done the same thing. Remember when they refreshed the Catalyst? When they got rid of Catalyst?
And turned it to, what is it called now?
Crimson something.
Crimson, yeah.
And they're like, oh, you guys that have this card, sorry. No, it's not like AMD doesn't do it either. They just don't do it as much.
Nah, they definitely don't. I mean, I'm just like sitting here like, if you had to make a choice right now, and you had to recommend to somebody right now, as in absolutely right now, in a sense, if you had to pick which card,
I would say whatever one is in your budget, and what games you're gonna play.
That I can understand.
And right now, like I said, for these two cards, they're damn near identical in performance. It's
okay.
It's your purse or your wallet or your piggy bank.
Indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, we're gonna really start to end the podcast. One last thing, real quick. Next week, Tuesday, at the Microsoft flagship store in Midtown Manhattan.
I don't live in Manhattan. I don't care. I don't care.
Slow the fuck down.
Wow.
All right. Let me finish. I gotta support my boys with Kick Punch Block. All right.
All right, Kanye.
All right. You know, shouts out to Kick Punch Block and the Killer Instinct community for holding another community tournament on March 28th from 7 to 10. Winner gets $300. Runner up gets $200. You can register right now. The information will be on the screen as well as in the description below, where you can go and register for that. I mean, I'm extremely excited to see what they're doing because, you know, they're actually using the resources that Microsoft has to offer to them. And I don't know if you saw the previous tournament, Keith, but
I did not.
They're like, or even a previous Microsoft tournament that they streamed from the flagship store. Their esports center is really swank, and the technology they got is amazing.
Guess what? Don't care. You know why? Because I'm jealous. I want to see it.
You want to see it? I'm telling you, man. You should come to New York like for one weekend. I'm telling you, man. Sakura Matsuri weekend. You should come down, and we just go down to the Microsoft Store and just like check it out.
Did they totally steal that name from Parappa the Rapper?
Sakura Matsuri? No.
No, Kick, Punch, Block.
I have no idea. I think that might be a Virtua Fighter thing. That might be a Virtua Fighter thing.
They're a live thing too.
Yeah, this is also very much true. All right, so time for the shills to pay the bills and the final thoughts. Let's get to the shills to pay the bills first. Obviously, make sure you check out the Xperience every Wednesday on YouTube as well as on iTunes. Make sure you subscribe to the iTunes channel to get notified, or subscribe to this podcast using whatever podcast aggregator that you use, whether that be TuneIn or podcast aggregator, whatever the name is that's there, or Google Play if you so choose to stay away from the Apple products because Apple was very nasty and disgusting.
Wow, I do not partake of the Apple, but wow, really?
What? I'm sorry. Shots fired. Bang, bang.
Yeah, you sure did.
I mean, I used to own an iPhone, so I actually totally am shots firing to myself and an iPad.
I still have an iPhone, and I think what you said is valid. Continue.
Where's your iPad?
That being said, also make sure you check out the Nintendo Entertainment Podcast. Shouts out to Todd, Will, and Tyler for that. They're going to be talking about a Switch review roundup on this week's. That will be up on Friday. Make sure you also check out The Cine Analyst by Sarah Menendez. Say what?
Like the credits at the end of a movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of names.
This could be a post-credit sequence too.
Yeah, I know, right?
Samuel L. Jackson's gonna show up.
Yo, Samuel Jackson will be like, I like anime and hentai too. Oh,
he watches it on RedTube, yeah.
Yeah. the A1 podcast anime with Will, Matt, and Josh. JJ, oh so sexy Piedra.
Only forgot his name.
I didn't forget his name. I'm sitting out here just thinking about Sam Jackson watching hentai on RedTube.
Oh, really?
Jesus, like damn it, Aaron.
It's got you that much?
Damn it, Aaron. And then don't forget to check out Sony Centric as well. That'll be going up every Tuesday on YouTube as well as all of our podcast aggregators.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Aaron.
I figured out what game I want on Backwards Compatibility. They'd have to re-add it to the catalog, but the old Team NT arcade game. Bring that back, please.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the 1988 one?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. Keith, final thoughts?
Final thoughts?
Yep.
Daytona USA on Xbox One is fantastical. Living my childhood here. I'll say it again. I'll keep saying it. Gamers need to get out of that conventional bullshit of fanboyism and stop saying that my system's better than your system. Because at the end of the day, they don't care about you. They care about the bottom line. Play what you want to play, and leave the other kids alone because they don't play what you like. Seriously.
Facts. So, on that note, on behalf of Aaron, make sure you give Aaron a round of applause for his first successful foray into Outerhaven Podcast 3.
Thank you.
And Keith Shadow Haxer, Chocolate Missiles Mitchell. Yeah, I brought that one back.
Yeah, nobody gets it either. So, yeah.
Go back and watch the last episode of the Outerhaven Podcast.
I'm sorry.
I'm Clinton Navigator Bowman.
Lost.
And keep playing your... I mean, I'm also lost, too. I'm in the dead zone. No GPS here.
My problem.
Keep playing your games. That's all we can say. Peace out.
Man, this game is fun.
Yeah, it is.
Fucking AI, stop trying to push me off the track.
That's what they do.
Is there a multiplayer on that?
Yes, I'm playing it right now.
Nice.
Buy the game, guys.
It has trial mode and challenges and karaoke. Did it have karaoke before?
No.
Well, it has it now.
Fantastic. Later, guys.